Hi guys! This video series includes instructional snippets of ways to perform family history. Please see the video summary for some useful links and information. As a note, this particular video is useless to those not of the LDS faith. In this tutorial, we will discuss possible ways to use FamilySearch to find names of ancestors whose work can be done at the temple. This is arguably the most important thing that can be done on FamilySearch. And it is also arguably one of the hardest things to do on FamilySearch, especially if you approach it from the wrong angle. Let's talk about what signs you're looking for while searching for a temple-ready person. On the landscape view, you can recognize such a person by looking for a green temple icon, such as this one. Please note that a green temple icon does not always mean that they are ready for temple ordinances to be requested. When you click on the temple icon, more information is gathered about that individual, and you might see data problems, like this one, that are blocking the individual from having the ordinances requested. Otherwise, at the top here, you will see a button to request ordinances. Like the misleading green temple icon, there is a yellow temple icon, which accurately assures you that before ordinances can be requested, data problems must be resolved. To find out what needs to be resolved, look down the list of family members. So, first of all, notice that there are a row of boxed letters. Each one of these represent an ordinance. You have baptism, confirmation, initiatory, endowment, sealing to parents, and sealing to spouse. What you're looking for, particularly for data problems, is boxes that have a clear box and a dashed outline. This means that the ordinance has not been completed and there's information missing that needs to be resolved. You can visit the person page of that individual in order to learn more information about the data problem. Now that we have that out of the way, there are essentially 3 ways to find names ready to take to the temple. The first is to find the name of direct ancestors who have all the information needed to take to the temple, meaning that they will have a green temple icon, but when you click on it, there will also be a request button. If you find such a person, your work is done. Just request the ordinance. Second, find the name of a direct ancestor who has missing information due to data problems, much like this misleading green icon and the yellow icon. You'll need to resolve the data problems before the ordinance can be requested. This can be very challenging, if not impossible. Third, find the name of an indirect ancestor who fits under one of the 2 methods mentioned previously. For example, I am rooted to Ebenezer Saunders. He is a direct ancestor of mine. An indirect ancestor of mine would be Edward Saunders, since he is a son of Ebenezer Saunders, but I am not directly related to Edward beyond that connection. You can see that he has missing information needed. Whether he has missing information or a green temple icon that is ready to go, this is another candidate. But as I've said before, FamilySearch is designed to search deeply rather than broadly. Therefore, this method will have you swimming against the current of FamilySearch. All 3 methods are useful and should be tried. However, I'll cover the latter 2 methods in later video tutorials, as they are much more challenging than the first one. The first method can be time-consuming, but it is very easy to do if you follow the steps I'm going to teach you. Your goal is to traverse every one of your direct ancestors without missing a single line. If you do this, you can almost guarantee that you will find a name to take to the temple. The method for achieving this is called depth-first search, which is this. Start with you as the root. Go to your father and your father's father and expand to his father's father. Keep expanding the fathers until you reach the end of the line. Along the way, if you ever spot a green temple icon, like this one here, and ordinances can be requested with the request button, go ahead and click all to request all the ordinances for this family, which is just 2 of them here, and click request. You will see that a church policy will come up saying basically just the contract you're under when you do this for terms of use, and you agree that you comply with the policy and you can add it to the temple ordinance list. So one of the most important things for this is don't just leave a mental note for yourself and go back to it later. Instead, always request them if you can find them. They will be stored in your temple tab. If you go to the temple tab, you can see that the people that I barely reserved are in there. What I can do from here is I can either share them with my other family members, or I can unreserve them if I want to give them up. This is really useful if you know you just have too many that you can't handle all of it. You can do unreserve. I would recommend not sharing it with the temple, which is another thing to do, because once you do that, they own that ability and you will no longer have the ability to go back and do those ordinances for yourself. The reason I say make sure to reserve as many as you can is you can always come back here later and unreserve. When you do that, make sure to write down in your family history journal the ID of the person that you unreserve so that you can always go back to them later. So it's just really crucial because nothing would break the heart of a deceased ancestor more than one of his descendants seeing the possibility to request his ordinance and ignoring it. Anyway, I just went ahead and skipped to the end of my father's line, and you can see it's the end because there is an add husband and add wife here, meaning that there are no more connections to this line. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on the mother's side. However, because I am a line of knights, they only have the father's side for quite a little bit, so I have to go pretty far back before I can find a line on my mother's side, right here to Joanna Pollard. Now when I go to her side, I want to look at her father's side, and from here I can click on this one. The reason we do depth first search is because when I click on this expansion up here will be lost, but that's okay because I have looked at every possibility in that expansion. So I can safely click on here and see, well, there's nothing left over here. So I will go on the mother's side, nothing on the mother's side. Look down on this mother's side's father's side, which is here. There's nothing and nothing, and I can go back again and continue on this cycle. Just to show you a more visual way of looking at it, I have a little presentation. So you can see that we start with my side, me as the root, my father's side, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather. Once we reach the end of the line there, we go to my mother's side, great-grandparents, and so on and so forth. If you follow depth first search, you are guaranteed to find everyone in your family line, but you have to follow it correctly to do so. Do not be discouraged if a few hours have passed and you've yet to find any name to take to the temple. This is a challenging task, especially for families rich in gospel heritage. But it is well worth your efforts, as even one soul saved is worth all your time and effort. And there you have it. That's depth first search. Subscribe to the channel for updates on new tutorials if you'd like. I keep comments closed to avoid typical YouTube banter. However, I'm open to feedback, questions, or suggestions. Please see the video summary for more information on how to contact me and some useful links. And thanks for watching.